sa barangay Nagbalayong kung saan itinayo ang BNPP. 60 taon nang naninirahan dito si Arnulfo, habang 47 taon naman si Orlando.
Ano po yung mga benepisyong inaasahan ninyo kapag magbubukas itong Bataan Nuclear Power Plant dito sa Morong?
Kung magkaroon ng mga trabaho ang taga dito sa amin sa Morong, yun po yung pinaka-importante sa amin kasi kulang na kulang din po kami sa patrabaho dito sa Morong.
Si Arnulfo naman, mariin itong tinututulan.
Sir, meron po ba kayong mga ikinatatakot sa posibleng pagbubukas at pagiging operational nitong Bataan Nuclear Power Plant?
Unang-unang takot, tanong ko lamang, ito bang kanito kung yung uranium pa rin ang gagamitin dyan? Yun na yung nakakatakot yun. Kasi alam na natin, lason yun. Na pag sumingaw yan, gaano kalaki ang lawak ng abutin niyang lawak ng uranium. Sakop na sakop kami rito ng Morong. Eh, hindi nga natin alam kung safety o hindi. Sa tagal nga ng panahon na hindi na gagalaw yan. Saka unang-una, isa pa, kami naman dito sa Morong ay maganda ng income ng bayan ng Morong. Maraming trabaho sa amin. So, wala namang din ganong problema.
Mas malaki nga ba ang benepisyong makukuha ng Pilipinas sa paggamit ng nuclear energy?
Turns the turbine.
When it comes down to a Filipino family, if the Filipino family says, let's go nuclear, what do they expect in terms of, benefits for themselves?
Well, the first thing is just it's going to take some time to build enough nuclear plants to replace all your fossil fuels. So it's a project. It's not a quick fix. So I just want to manage expectations. These are big projects, but once you build a nuclear plant, it lasts for 80 years. It's like building a bridge or highways. It's a big piece of infrastructure. So that's the first thing. The second thing people should know is that people in the Philippines spend 3 times more money on electricity than the people of Korea. So that's a huge problem because the only way that countries become wealthy is by having cheap energy.
You said the Philippines pays for electricity 3 times more than the South Koreans pay.
Yes.
And the South Koreans, of course, have much, much bigger income.
Yes.
How much of South Korean electricity comes from nuclear?
About 40%.
About 40%.
Yeah.
And with that, they can manage the cost of electricity to be smaller.
That's right.
All right. I want to know how much, if the Bataan Nuclear Plant
Yeah.
were started, would the Filipino people feel a decrease in costs?
They might, at least in Luzon,
Yes.
there might be some reduction. It's hard to say how much. It wouldn't be 50%.
Yes.
But it probably would be more than 5%. So somewhere
Yeah.
between there. And I think it's important that nuclear, when you decide to do nuclear as a country, you're making a long-term decision.
You told me earlier that the South Korea had a referendum. Tell us about it. What were the results? In other words, the government of South Korea went to the people and says, okay, do you want nuclear energy or not?
That's right.
And when did this happen?
So in 2017, the president of South Korea, who's anti-nuclear, said, I'm going to create something called a citizens' jury, which was several hundred people who got together and voted. And they looked at the evidence. They heard from different experts over several months. And at first, when they polled them, 40% were pro-nuclear. But after
Were pro-nuclear.
Only 40%. But after about 6 months, 60% were pro-nuclear, and they voted to continue with nuclear in South Korea. Then Taiwan, last year in November, had a referendum,
I see.
and they also voted. It was amazing. The exact same percentage. It was 59% voted to keep nuclear in Taiwan. So in both countries, when ordinary people look at the evidence, they understand that they need nuclear, because Taiwan and South Korea are like the Philippines. They don't have their own energy.
So you are assuring the Filipino people from your study that the Bataan Nuclear Plant is rehabilitatable, if there's such a word, and that there is no danger.
There's danger in this room.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
we could,
yeah,
I
I
could,
mean
I
to
could
say-
get up and fall over and trip on something and be hurt. So I mean,
It's not in a specially sensitive place.
no, it's not. Not only that, and I think what's important is to have an independent safety regulator. So there's legislation right now in the Philippine Congress that would create an independent regulator who would evaluate and make sure that it's safe. So to protect the Philippines, you need nuclear energy to be self-sufficient, to protect yourself. It's really important to energy security and to national security.
Ang Pilipinas nga lang ay meron tayong 200,000 o higit pa megawatts na potential, no, ng paggawa ng renewable energy mula sa solar, wind, at even sa hydro na hindi pa halos nagagamit. 8,000 lang megawatts ang nagagamit natin. Pagkukumpitin natin ang buong paggamit natin ng elektrisidad ay halos 22,000 megawatts. No? So halos untap pa ang renewable energy potential ng Pilipinas.